Okay, so recording started. You should be able to see my screen. Please put any questions for today into the chat and we'll work on those. Thank you for joining the Rapido monthly update. My name is Megan Weldon. I'm a product manager here on the Rapido team, and our monthly update has the following agenda. First, we'll cover a few topics related to happenings in the resource sharing community, and then we will cover a recent announcement called the Rapido Consortial Borrowing. There's been a few questions about that, so answering questions about that today. You may be familiar with, we typically cover in these sessions the release highlights. The April release was a lot of fixes and infrastructure work, so there aren't major highlights to present to you today, and so I will be presenting other work that we've been doing related to the Rapido Consortial Borrowing solution, and then I will work on your questions at the end of the session and follow up as needed. Okay, first, our wonderful Rapido community. Here are a few updates that may be relevant and of interest to you. So welcome to the new members of the Rapido community. We've continued to see libraries go live every month this year so far. It is exciting to see this community grow. We started with 152 libraries at the beginning of 2025, and we are anticipated to have 275 libraries live by the end of the year. So a lot of exciting growth in the community this year. A great opportunity for connections within the resource sharing community and learning from your peers is coming up in the form of the Northwest Interlibrary Loan and Resource Sharing Conference. I look forward to seeing many of you there and connecting with colleagues in the resource sharing community. I recently saw this conference team has a call for proposals open. From the listserv, it looks like they are taking proposals until April 7th. You all have great stories to share. I learn from each of you in all of our regular conversations. We may consider putting in a proposal to speak to your experiences in resource sharing and interlibrary loan. Another great event is coming up and looking for proposals as well, and that is the Igloo Conference. This one is happening hybrid and in person in Siena, Italy. Um, it's happening later this year in September, but they're also looking for proposals. You may have seen this come across the listserv, and again, I encourage you to submit your voice via the proposals to share your stories and experiences from your library work. And one last great event that's coming up that I wanted to acknowledge is the Aluna Conference. I also look forward to seeing you at this event in June in Atlanta, Georgia. It's an exciting event always, but what's exciting to me this year is that we will have our first Rapido session at Knowledge Days. It's the first time we've had a Rapido session at the Knowledge Days during the Aluna conference. So I look forward to working with you at that event. And it's exciting to see that there are so many great Rapido and Rapid ILL sessions already being populated on the agenda. Here's just a list that I found in my first initial searches. So if you'll be at the Aluna event, reach out to our team. We'd be really happy to see you and connect with you in person there and continue to learn with you at these great Rapido and Rapid ILL sessions. Okay, the next topic, Rapido Consortial Borrowing. You may have seen this language come through in listserv announcements. You might have seen it in media announcements. So giving you a little bit of an introduction to what this means and what this project this project is. So Rapido Consortial Borrowing is a little bit different from Rapido, but let's show you what that looks like here. So with Rapido, you're all very familiar coming to the monthly update with what you can do with Rapido. You're expert users at this point, and you're used to it being a solution that support for your resource sharing that tackles your physical and digital They're used to the personalized staff workflows and library configurations. You can really customize things with labels, display logic rules. You've got copyright management mediation rules, sets, efficient staff workflows, and you work with your Rapido colleagues and you work beyond that as it's an open resource sharing network. With Rapido, you have the full pie for tackling your resource sharing requests via the Rapido solution. Rapido consortial borrowing is a nice piece of that pie for libraries who only need a piece of that pie to meet their needs and that aligns with their scope of work. So Rapido consortial borrowing or Rapido CB is a solution for libraries who are only wanting to work with physical returnables. They want their workflows to be embedded in their current ILS or maybe via the workflow tool. They're using a more standardized configuration across their consortia. They aren't working in this really personalized, customized way that you're working within your Rapido environment today. And it's really a tool for them to connect with their current consortial colleagues. This so think our current projects that we've been working on related to this Rapido consortial borrowing are with the Search Ohio and the Ohio Link libraries and with the Circuit project in California. So to sum up, Rapido consortial borrowing is a resource sharing solution to allow statewide systems to adopt a sharing first model. It's a system that multiplies the way libraries can source their titles and modernize the user experience, giving staff some continuity with their unique workflows that they're familiar with today. Rapido consortial borrowing provides a flexible approach to their resource sharing solution in that they can utilize their ILS that they're familiar with today, and it's not disrupting their local library workflows. Again, it's flexible in that it adapts to the ILS that is in use at the library, so staff can continue working in the way that they've been working with their library system. It integrates with the patron discovery interface, and there is familiarity with the workflows in place. As there are quite a few ILSs involved in our development partners that we're working with, there's a lot of integrations to make happen for the Rapido consortial borrowing to be the solution for these libraries. Across these libraries, we are seeing uses of Alma, Sierra, and Polaris, in which case we can provide a full integration. Some of them are using additional or different ILSs that are API compatible, so there are integrations within the ILS's staff interface. And then some of the libraries have ILSs that are not compatible with APIs, and so they'll be accessing their Rapido consortial borrowing requests via the Rapido workflow tool. For the end user, there's also flexibility in what the discovery is going to look like for their library end users. For libraries using Vega Discover or Primo VE, there's full integration embedded within the single discovery layer. And there are libraries using other discovery layers, which will then help be supported by linking out to a central request interface powered by Vega Discover. So again, libraries who are going to be using Rapido consortial borrowing with Sierra and Polaris, they can continue to work in circulation for returnable consortial requests. And for Alma libraries using Rapido consortial borrowing, they'll be able to manage their requests alongside their other types of ILL requests. As we look at this landscape of libraries that we've been working with to bring Rapido consortial borrowing to them, we know that there are a variety of ILSs and thus a variety of integration points that are important to delivering on the Rapido consortial borrowing experience. Just a few to highlight, there is an importance for integration and understanding inventory, Rapido's real-time availability knowledge, circulation, and the discovery layer. So depending on the ILS at the library, the integration means whether it's K-bar, API, NCIP, etc. is going to vary depending on the integration capacity of the ILS in use. Okay, a little bit deeper into the Rapido Consortial Borrowing patron experience. So these end users at public libraries, perhaps using Polaris and Sierra, using Vega Discover, will have a fully integrated patron discovery experience. Um, and other libraries may have a consortial experience based on Vega Discover available to them. So let's see what that might look like. So you're really familiar with this patron experience at your libraries. This is your Primo VE view. Um, right, our first step is we're searching the title in the embedded discovery. You're not having to click out to an external place for your resource sharing. Um, you get your consortial requests as well as your network requests all in one place, and they have the visibility of the patron accounts. So doing the search, expanding our search, finding our result, seeing our Rapido offer that we're so familiar with, and having the visibility in our patron card. For other libraries that have a- different discovery tools beyond Primo VE and beyond Vega Discover, they will have a solution that looks maybe a little bit more like this, where they have their catalog, and then there's a pass-through search that's going to occur. So a pass-through search brings them to a different screen here. They sign in to indicate where they're authenticating from. Then they can see those Rapido offers available to them. And they also have some visibility in their patron card to see their requests in their patron account. Again, we're working with partners on Rapido Consortial Borrowing, and those partnerships are kind of outlined here on our timeline as we move forward. Q2 of 2025, we're working with the Search Ohio group in the early adopter program. Q4 2025, Search Ohio and OhioLink implementations are anticipated. Q1 for 2026, we're expecting general availability for Rapido Consortial Borrowing, and Q2 2026, San Diego circuit will be going live. So that is kind of the more immediate timeline for this Rapido Consortial Borrowing project as we work with the libraries and their variety of ILSs to bring Rapido Consortial Borrowing to them. Right, and it's a short update, short session today, but I do appreciate your time. There's my email address if you want to connect further with questions beyond what we can answer today, or if you have specific topics about Rapido at your library or want to just touch base, please let me know and we can work on getting connected. I've got a few links today that I would like to share, and I'll be putting them into the chat. Just of note, the monthly webinar series, I've added additional sessions for the rest of the year. So you may have already registered at one point for the first half of the sessions or just for today's session, but there are additional sessions available for the rest of 2025. The Rapido listserv is a really great resource by the community for the community to connect on topics and questions of interest to you. The Aluna registration link is there for that conference. The Igloo call for proposals link is there, and just the announcement for the Rapido Consortial Borrowing solution will also be available. So I'm going to navigate away from sharing my screen, grab the links to share into the chat, and then take a peek at the chat to see if there are any questions that I can work with you on today. So please get your questions entered into the chat if you have them. All right. You should now see those links in the chat. Okay. Um, okay, seeing a few questions. Is Rapido consortial borrowing available now? No, it's not available now. Its timeline for general availability is Q1 2026 at this point. And again, we're working with those development partners, Search Ohio, and Circuit as our early adopter, as part of the early adoption program. If you already have Rapido, you do not need to get Rapido consortial borrowing. Again, the analogy of Rapido having being the full pie. You have physical, you have digital, you have holistic workflows and copyright and mediation rules. Rapido consortial borrowing is more so for folks who may only need like a slice of that pie, a narrower scope of that functionality. If a library were to start with Rapido consortial borrowing, could they move to Rapido later on? They could. Of course, however, if they are looking for the fuller functionality with Rapido, we would like to work with them to get them started with addressing all of their needs with one implementation instead of a change. So hopefully that answers your question there. Okay, and that looks like I've addressed the questions in the chat, the ones that I'm seeing, and and then sorry, I see one more question. What no webinars for a few different months there. Lori, thank you for that question. I think there might be one webinar link missing there because I know there are 2 months that we don't plan to have webinars, but not 3. So I will visit that site and make sure that it is comprehensive of all of the webinars we'll be planning to do for this year. All right. And you have my email address so we can work on any additional questions that come up for you or any Rapido topics at your library. Thank you.